Thank you for joining us. Elko Live today features our guest from your public lands. Of course, we're visiting with Cheryl Miller and Clint Mothershed from the Elko District BLM office, and an exciting lineup of things planned today. And they barely stopped to take a breath from trail days, but California Trail Interpretive Center is back at it again with exciting programs. And Cheryl, you're so enthusiastic about greeting all the families and the visitors and the school children who are going to have a little extra time for programs, aren't they?
Yeah, we're so excited to start seeing those families coming out, especially with their kids during the week.
Yeah, so we're going to talk all about these Trail Center programs available. I think, Clint, we're going to mix it up a little bit and start with you because you have some news for us today. Clint Mothershed, fire mitigation specialist. Yes.
Yes, I do. Thanks for having me on, Lori. I guess first we'll start off with tentatively we're going to go into interagency fire restrictions with possibly the Forest Service, state parks, as well as Elko County Fire. The date they're looking at is June 20th, tentatively, but there will be press releases and we'll let everybody know at that point. For more information on those, if you want to go camping 4th of July weekend, just go to nevadafireinfo.org and you can find out all about the restrictions. There's an interactive map of Nevada. You click on the area you want to go. You can zoom in and it'll tell you if there are restrictions and what those restrictions may be. Our restrictions will look more like no open flame as far as from carbon-based, but as long as it has an on-off switch, you'll be all right. So you can go camping, just use your propane, and we'll just probably steer away from the carbon-based fires, the campfires, unless they're in a developed fee-paying site that have been cleared as far as weed eating. And then we had our first 2 lightning fires today, just about an hour ago. But they are south of Jigs. No more resources are needed, which is a good sign. That just means that who's on scene can handle it, but we're getting into that. We can see the fires, or the cheatgrass is starting to lose its pretty green to purple color and it's going to the red, which also means it will be looking for more red out there. We're anticipating a pretty busy fire season this year.
Yeah, Clint, thanks for bringing us up to date on that. In fact, you get a fuels outlook for 3 months. This is down to a science. I hope people can understand. We're not just looking at some crystal ball here.
No, this is not Farmer's Almanac. This is actually, we have government meteorologists that actually work, specialize in the fire realm, and we are transitioning out of El Nino. We're going into neutral conditions, which will mean above average temperatures and average to below average temperatures through September. June and September, we have a high potential for a lot of fires and maybe large fires, just due to the weather. And then July and August, we're still looking at that, but they don't know exactly how intense that will look like because of the monsoons. They're still trying to predict that, how that's going to track, how strong is it going to be. And my guess, due to my experience, is that June, July, August, and September will all probably look pretty much the same.
Well, and we have what's known as cured or dormant fuels when we don't have a very active fire season the previous year, right? We have stuff left over to burn.
Yep, this year we have carryover fuels from 2 winters ago, which everybody probably still has seared in their minds. But yeah, there's in certain areas, we had enough snowpack this year to eliminate that standing dead fine fuel, but in other areas we did not. So I've gone around, been posting signs, been doing some of the community outreach stuff, and certain areas you look out where it should be green and all you see is the tan, the dead dormant grass with the green coming up right in the middle of it, more of the native bunch grasses that we have around Elko County. So we're going to have an increased fuel load. We don't know pounds per acre yet, but busy years, it's usually over a ton per acre. So we'll see how it goes. We'll do that testing here in the next couple weeks.
All right, Clint. And if you're like me and you're a property owner and you opened up your insurance bill lately, it's reflected in there, right? I mean, it's not for lack of trying because everybody in Elko County is aware. I think they've taken your mitigation messages very seriously, Clint, but there are some risks out there that insurance companies are now not willing to absorb or not able to.
Yeah, and that's definitely a developing story that I don't have a lot of knowledge on. I do know in California, they are not issuing new homeowners insurance, which I don't understand totally, but we'd hate to see that happen here. I think it's a reactionary world, and based off the campfire in Paradise, California, and the legal fallout from that with PG&E, I think people are being really hesitant to insure. So that being said, if you do live in a fire-prone area such as Elko, and you live in the WUI, which is an acronym for Wildland Urban Interface, clear around your homes, please. You can go to nevadafireinfo.org to get more info on that. You can go to livingwithfire.com. They have both great resources. They kind of connect to each other, and they'll give you the tips and tricks on what you need to do around your home. Just know if you can get the zones, there's 3 zones ranging from 0 to 100 feet. 0 to 5 feet is kind of the zone 0, they call it. And it's you're trying to reduce your home's vulnerability to embers and flames. So that means pull wood piles away from your homes. If you have gutters and you have pine trees, clean out your gutters. If you have a shake shingle, a wooden tile roof, you may want to have that replaced, or make sure that that you have it looked at by someone. If you suspect it, I saw one the other day that I actually, it was gasp worthy. I was like, oh man, and I was talking to them, and they're trying to get their roof replaced because it's aged, outdated, and has timber needles all in it. So,
and these the embers can travel, Clint. That's what we want people to understand too. You could have a brush fire just somewhere in the city of Elko even, and an ember could lift and land on a rooftop, and there you go.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Depending on the intensity of the fire, the weather, there's a lot of conditions, but you could have embers easily travel a half mile on a really strong fire. I've seen videos, ring cameras in Colorado of a fire that was half mile away, and the ring camera had some fire trucks patrolling the neighborhood because of that fire, and they saw some smoke underneath the porch, and it was from an ember from that fire. And even though the fire truck was there, the entire house burned to the ground because it was in an area that the firefighters couldn't get to quick enough. And by the time they had the right resources there, it was too late. So
don't be that property owner, because it's just as hurtful for fire departments when you can't get in and defend something safely. I know it. I know firefighters feel bad. They want to accomplish this. This is important to them. So livingwithfire.com or nevadafireinfo.org.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yep. And one thing to point out is safety is the name of the game for us, as well as a lot of other industries here. We want our firefighters to make it home after fires. And I have to stress this again, especially this year, we do not have enough fire trucks for everybody's driveway. And we need people to do their due diligence and please mow around your homes as much as you possibly can, preferably in the morning at this point moving forward, just due to the potential of a mower striking a rock and a spark and yada, yada, yada. Elko County Fire is going to go out of their their open burning. I believe it's going to be on the 15th. And so that gives Elko County about a week. If you have a pile of brush or whatever you want to take care of before then, you have 1 week to do it. This point moving forward, also please have a charged hose there. That means with a nozzle on it or with the water running while you're burning. I think that's part of the rules anyway with getting a burn permit from the county. So.
All right. You mentioned lightning at the top of the broadcast. Started a couple of fires locally already, but there are other top fire causes in Elko County that we can actually mitigate.
Yes. So based off the year, it's a 40 to 60% swing, or 40-60, either human to natural to human. The last few years, it's been more human than natural, and that has a lot to do with the grass crop we did not have. And last year was fairly green in the summer, but we are, I'd say that probably 70% of our fires are roadside ignitions, meaning Interstate 80. It makes sense with all the transit that goes on there, blown tires. The next one would be, we've had a fire already this year from someone metalworking, and so that will be one of the items in our BLM fire restrictions about doing that type of field repair on equipment during, June 20th onward until we get our first precipitable storm system of the fall, which typically will be probably mid-October. I hope so, because I have an elk tag. So,
well, we will keep our fingers crossed for you, Clint. That's great. Congratulations on getting an elk tag.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So when we come back, because we're going to visit with Cheryl, we'll talk to you about some of the upcoming events that you can meet Clint and his crew and find out about additional fire mitigation measures locally. So we'll do that. But we're going to switch over to you, Cheryl. And thank you for being again on the program. And we might as well dive right in. I mean, there's so many exciting things. First of all, should we kind of give a shout out for everybody who could come out for Trail Days? Sounded like it was an amazing time.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here today. Thanks for having me, Lori. First of all, huge shout out to everyone that came out to our big Trail Days event for 2024. It was a huge success because of our local community. They came out, they supported us, they rode in wagons, they ate some Indian tacos, they had a great time. We had more than 600 visitors come in 3 days, which is a lot of people for us, and we had so much fun. We had so many great photos, we had reenactors, we had just lots and lots of great people teaching us about the Pioneer Way, the California Trail. We even had a group of 7th and 8th graders come out that had actually done the California Trail with their teacher in Pioneer wagons with all of the gear, and they came out the Hastings Cutoff, which is where the Donner Party came through. And so they're just an incredible, amazing group of middle schoolers that were pioneers for a short period of time.
Wow, what an extraordinary feat. And to think that you can stand there at the Trail Center, look out over across the interstate and see the Hastings Cutoff.
Yeah, that's what really brings it home for me. I'm new to the Trail Center, and so when someone pointed that out to me the first time, it was just like, wow, that really brings it home. We've all heard about the Donner Party. We've all heard about the tough time that they had in the mountains, of course. We know how that story ends, but it's just amazing to see that history right from the windows of the Trail Center every day.
Well, great kickoff to summer season, and it is well underway. In fact, if you want to go over some of the programs and the happenings, and I know that there's an exciting call for artists coming up, and you have these really cool time traveler camps.
Oh my gosh, we have so much going on. I'm going to have to talk really fast, okay? So starting tomorrow, which will be the 8th at 1 p.m., we've got a really cool brand new program Ranger Evie is bringing to the Trail Center, and it's called The Need for Speed. As some of you probably know, the Black Rock Desert is famous for vehicles that go out there to do all kinds of experiments and research. And of course, that was part of the journey for the California Trail Pioneers. And so she's going to be talking about vehicles traveling in that area, all the way from the Pioneers to the latest speed records being broken out there. So you'll be learning about wagons, you'll be learning about speed, and you'll be building your own wagon with Ranger Evie by the end of the program. Everyone is welcome, and if you'd like to come, please sign up on our Facebook link, check out our website, or give us a call at the center.
That's awesome. And Ranger Evie's programs are always so much fun. Everybody has a blast.
Absolutely. She's a superstar.
Yeah. So what else you got going on just this month? Look at all of these.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep going here. All right. So on Sunday, June 9th, so just in a couple of days, also at 1 p.m., we are going to be making Pony Express mail bags. And this is a really fun one. This is going to be led by one of our volunteers, Brenda. Shout out to Brenda. She's amazing. And we are going to be providing all of the materials. So we'll have the sewing material, we'll have the thread, we'll of course have patterns, we'll have modern sewing machines, but then we'll also have the ones that don't use electricity from the 1800s. You can use your foot to pedal them. Those are really neat too. But the most important ingredient here is Brenda, our volunteer, who is an experienced, kind, and very patient seamstress who will walk you through the project. So if you don't have crafting skills, if you're not a seamstress, don't worry about it. Please come on out and make a mail bag with us. We'd love to have you. And again, please sign up just because we want to make sure we have enough room for everyone. We have enough materials, and Brenda is ready to go. So please, again, sign up on Facebook, through our website, or give us a call at the center.
That is great. Thank you, Cheryl. That's just this weekend, those two cool things. And then next weekend, you're continuing the fun?
Next weekend is one of our most popular programs. Macy from the Nevada Outdoor School is going to be leading a gold panning program. And I got to see this the last time she ran it, and we had so many families come out. The center was packed, and they all had such a great time. It was such a fun experience to get to watch them and help them out as they were panning. And there will be real gold, I'm using my air quotes here, everyone, that everyone can pan out, and tumbled gems, again, using my air quotes, folks. So we'll have pyrite, we'll have gems, and kids and families will be able to go home with a little bag of gems that they can use to start their, I don't know, college savings plan or something like that.
Right. Or just a very cool shiny rock collection.
Absolutely. We all like our shiny rocks. And this is a great activity for little ones, middle-sized ones, adults. Everyone that came last time had a really great time.
Awesome. And then you're beginning the first in a series of wildflower hikes also next weekend?
Absolutely. So Saturday, June 15th will be our first wildflower hike. And we have had to change the location because there's still snow up at the top of Lamoille Canyon, which is good for fire. We're glad that there's still some snowpack there and that it's slowly melting. We don't want it to get too hot too soon. And so where we will be meeting will be at the Talbot Trailhead. Ranger Glenn is going to be leading up this wildflower hike, and probably most of you know where that trailhead is, but just in case you don't, it's going to be on the left-hand side of the road as you go up the Lamoille Scenic Highway, just past the Powerhouse picnic area. So there's a little bit of parking on the left-hand side right at the trailhead, but then there's more parking a little bit farther up on the right-hand side if the little parking lot is full when you come. And we will be focusing on identifying the wildflowers, taking in the beautiful views, and of course, connecting with family and friends along the way during the hike.
And that's such a great way to take, as you mentioned, little ones. We had a favorite little around the beaver ponds in the Moyle Canyon when Livy was just a toddler, and she could just get so close to nature. And then, you can see so many different things, and it's a great little excursion. And if you're not confident, this is a way that you can gain more confidence and experience with other people.
Exactly. And it's going to be a nice gradual hike. It's going to be about 2 hours, about 2 miles total. So totally family friendly. Also, if you don't know the names of the wildflowers out there and you want to learn those, we'll be there to help you along. I think I'll be helping Ranger Glenn that day, so maybe I'll get to meet some of you folks too. It's just a great way to gain confidence in the outdoors, connect with your friends and family, and just see some beautiful places.
Oh, thanks, Cheryl. And a lot of this is done in collaboration with other groups, as we're going to be talking about too on the program here. And then June is continuing. I think you mentioned that hike is going to be 2 weekends, right? The 15th and the 29th? Okay.
Correct. We're going to run it again on the 29th, but hopefully by then the snowpack will be down and we'll be able to go from the end of the road there up at the top of the canyon. So stay tuned for that location, but hopefully we'll be leading up from the top of the canyon at the end of the month.
All right, perfect. We will have details on that. And then June 22nd, something fun. Oh, these are so cute.
Absolutely. So we'll be bringing it inside. It'll be story time and craft, again with Ranger Evie. And she will be reading some pages from Patty Reed's doll. And then after the story, she'll be inviting everyone to make their very own rag doll. They're really cute. Again, I saw this program a few weeks ago, and the kids really loved it. The adults really loved it. And it's great for little ones, but it's also great if you have medium-sized or big ones that like to craft as well, because there'll be lots of different choices in terms of how to make your rag doll, and you'll be able to leave with one or possibly two after the story.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's June 22nd, also 1 o'clock. Most of these programs, if not all, are at 1 o'clock, and they are offered free of charge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it continues to be free. It's amazing. Free admission as well. And then you're going to be moving into town for guided bat hikes.
Yeah, this is one we are all really excited. This is one where we are collaborating with bat scientists. So we're offering a guided bat hike, and this is going to be in the evening. So it starts at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, June 26th. And we'll be meeting you out at the Elko Southside Tennis Courts again at 8 p.m. And we're going to go on a hike with bat scientists. So we know that bats echolocate. We know that they're out foraging for food. But what other amazing and incredible questions do you have? We'll bring those out for the bat scientists. We're so excited. They're going to have this really cool echolocation equipment where it will listen to the bat calls and then identify the bats right there live just while you're listening to them. So they're going to have some really cool equipment. They're going to have lots of great information. And it's just going to be a really great way to connect with scientists, to connect with nature right in the middle of Elko and in the evening. So mixing it up a little bit for those night owls out there.
Oh, that's so sweet. On June 26th, 8 p.m. at Elko Southside Tennis Courts. And this is just stuff for the month of June. You are looking at a summer full of amazing activities, by the way. Looking forward to that. So, talking with Cheryl Miller from California Trail Interpretive Center, should we shift and talk about time and travelers camps available?
That's right. This is very exciting. This is going to be put on with our partner organization, Nevada Outdoor School. Macy's going to be heading this up. So we have 2 different overnight camps that we're offering, and kids get to sleep overnight in the museum. So it's like night at the museum, but for reals. And we'll be so excited. We're inviting kids ages 8 to 10 for the session that's going to run July 12 through 13. So they'll spend one night with us. And then we invite kids 11 to 13 to come for our second session of the overnight camp, which will be August 16th through 17th. And some of the activities will include Dutch oven cooking, gold panning, archery, sewing, stargazing, campfire, and then, of course, hand-churned ice cream making.
Ooh, and if you have not had that before, you are in for such a treat. And that is one of those wonderful traditions that once you learn it, you can practice it with your own family and friends.
Absolutely. And so what we did is we took all of our superstar program hits and we put it into an overnight camp for kids. So parents, if you're just looking for a night off or your kids are really into Pioneer stuff, we'd love to have them come out and stay for a night at the museum. And the way that you can sign up for that is you can give us a call at the Trail Center, or you can email Macy, and that's macy.rohr, R-O-H-R, at NevadaOutdoorSchool.org, or just give us a call at the Trail Center and we'll get you signed up.
Oh, Cheryl, that's great. What a wonderful partnership with AmeriCorps and Nevada Outdoor School. We really appreciate those talented, enthusiastic AmeriCorps volunteers or workers. They come from all over the country sometimes to help with these programs. That's great. And then you just brought in something that I guess this is just fresh off the press, right? Calling for native Nevada artists.
Yes, again, a wonderful partnership between us at the California Trail Center and the American Indian Alaska Native Tourism Association, known as IANTA. We're all working together. Of course, we've got more sponsors. We've got Patagonia, the Oregon California Trail Center, the California Trail Center Alliance, Carson City, Nevada, all kinds of wonderful partners that are working together to put on this call for artists. We're looking for a tribal tourism poster. The applications are due August 30th, and there is a $2,000 commission and paid travel that goes along with this one. So all of you artists out there, we would love to see your applications. And if you want to submit an application, just go to the California Trail Center Facebook page. My good friend Paul just put up a post this morning with the QR code and the link to submit your application to be the native artist that makes our next tourism poster. So we'd love to see your application and we'd love to see your incredible art.
Oh, this is great because it's specific to Nevada native artists, this tribal tourism poster project. Again, you've got some time to think about it. It looks like a pretty straightforward application process, Cheryl. You just submit the online application, describe what you would do, how you approach the project, a small portfolio, maybe 10 examples, and then you scan the code on the application, and then you can find out about some webinars too that are coming up too. And it sounds like a great way to make connections with maybe some other artists.
Absolutely. And if you go to the submission page, it will have some newer, more updated dates in terms of webinars and submission deadlines and things like that. So go to our Facebook page, check out that link Paul just put up for you, and let's get those submissions in. And again, all of the applications are due by August 30th. So you've got a few weeks to work on your ideas, but we'd love to hear your ideas, and we'd love to see your art.
We have a great tradition of native Nevada artists, and so I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get the winning poster from right here in Elko County. That would be so cool, Cheryl. That's great. Of course, it is open to all Nevada native artists, so get more information at CaliforniaTrailInterpretiveCenter.org, correct?
That's it.
We got through, I think, most of what you brought today. I mean, an incredible amount of fun to be had all summer long at our free California Trail Interpretive Center, where, again, you just did such a beautiful job at Trail Days, and people are still talking about it. So thank you, Cheryl, for all that hard work.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to everyone that came out and just made it such a wonderful event. It was my first, and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yep, more than 600 people. So with that, we will kind of let Clint send us home with, again, just some details about, our public lands. We are so fortunate to have all these beautiful amenities and resources. They're managed for multiple use. Clint, you come on the program just to remind everybody of our responsibility as stewards and caretakers, and how to be careful out there recreating. And so I know you're going to be making some special appearances this summer.
Yes, I think in the next month or so, obviously the Mining Expo is going on right now. There is a BLM booth. You can go there and get activity books for your kids. School's out. It's a good way to at least take up a couple hours of their time. And if they try the crossword, probably about 2 weeks, because it's a really hard crossword. I don't know who made it, but it's ridiculous. I do have, and then we have the Lamoille Art Fair. Smokey Bear will be there early in the morning. It does get a little hot for the bears, so it's usually about an hour to 2 hours for photo opportunities for families. Obviously, we have the National Bass Festival coming up. Really exciting time for everybody in Elko, as well as the 4th of July parades and shows. After that, we do have the Silver State Stampede, the oldest rodeo, longest running rodeo in the state of Nevada, and going to have some really good personalities there this year.
Letterbuck.
Yeah, July 12th will be Wildfire Awareness Night. So come out, you can get some defensible space stuff. We'll be handing out all sorts of cool things at the entrance for kids. And then I did have a couple go backs. First off, drove up Lamoille Canyon 2 days ago. You can get to the turnaround. I don't know if you can totally turn around on the turnaround, but you can do kind of an Austin Powers turnaround there right at the turnaround. So with this hot weather, it might be opening up for your turnaround activities, Cheryl. And then I wanted to touch, because I'm probably not going to talk about this anymore this year, about the defensible space stuff. We talked about Zone 0, at 0 to 5 feet. You have two other zones that go from 5 to 100 feet. In a nutshell, anything flammable, you need to mow down the grass. You need to trim your bushes. You need to take some lower limbs off your trees if you're comfortable with that, to prevent fire from getting up into the canopy tree. As we talked about before, spot fires, that's how they can happen. They get in the canopy, and then those embers drift. But essentially, mow them, keep stuff well manicured and maintained, and it's part of being a good neighbor anyway, if you live in the wildland urban interface. So other than that, I think that's it.
Clint, you always do a fantastic job, and we're happy when we see you anytime, but we're especially happy when you visit in the summer, because it means you're not needed elsewhere.
I fear soon enough.
I know.
Unfortunately, but just be careful.
Be careful, be safe, and just think about that, listeners. You're hearing Clint, and he and firefighters, men and women just like him from throughout our community, and who come from other parts of the country. They come here. They work very dangerous jobs, very, very long hours. They spend all this time away from their families. So we need to keep it safe. We need to do our part, and clean up around your house and your property, and move all the, even if it's a swing set or something, whatever you think would impede a fire truck, right, in case of emergency.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go out on this note, but please mark your septic tanks with something. A post. A lot of people like using reflective markers that you would typically use in the winter in your driveway to delineate the boundaries of where you can drive and where you shouldn't drive.
Oh, yeah.
Because fires tend to happen later in the afternoon when it's hotter and drier out. So by the time some resources get there, when it's in communities, I've experienced it. it's really handy to know where the septic tanks are so they can do some structure protection, as we call it.
All right. So numbers on your houses, mark your septic tanks, knock down those weeds. It sounds like a whole community meeting in the works. So if anybody has any questions, yeah. And if you do need help, I want to put this out because I understand Spring Creek Homeowners Association is very responsive. Clint, if you know of a person maybe who has a disability, maybe it's a short-term issue, they had some surgery, an elderly person, if someone's struggling and they need help around their property, they can call the Spring Creek Association, right? And they have a list of people who will help out.
I believe so, yes. Yeah, it's a great deal, yeah. And if you go to Corey's right now, either one, I dropped off some double-sided flyers. It's all about 5 steps creating effective defensible space around your home. So Corey's has been kind enough and generous enough just to put those as like sack stuffers. As far as when people check out, they just put one in your bag. So get them while they're hot.
All right. Get them while they're firefighter hot. And I hope the cornhole tournament was a big success. Yeah?
From what I gather, it was, yeah. I think the weather kind of impeded the turnout a little bit, but they still had, I believe, around 40 teams, which was what their goal was.
Fantastic.
And I think there was a lot of great businesses around Elko that donated to that as far as raffle items. So props to them. I don't have the list in front of me to ramble off, but yeah, that was a great deal, and it went to a great cause.
That's awesome. It was about a month ago, so it's okay. But just wanted to reflect and give a shout out to the Wildland Firefighters Association. They benefit the firefighter families. So Cool. All right. I think with that, Cheryl and Clint, we'll call it a wrap for today, and we appreciate your time as always and your enthusiasm. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Really appreciate your being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Lori. Always a pleasure. I look forward to being here again next month.
Absolutely. And Clint, we will see you, fingers crossed, next month. And we hope not to see you in the fall because you'll be out elk hunting. Right.
That's right. That's right. I'll be off the grid.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for today's Elko Live. And our guest today from your public lands from the Elko District BLM here on KELK.